The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Good to see you guys once more. We're still recovering from the aftermath of what was an absolute crazy fight last night. Absolute mayhem in San Antonio. Bedlam in San Antonio. As Brian Castano and Jermell Charlo put on one of the best fights you're ever going to see. And it was overshadowed by bad judging in a big fight. This is the same book being reread and the same story being retold to us boxing fans. A great fight overshadowed by bad and corrupt judging. So it is what it is. There's no sense in crying over spilt milk, but I do want to get into some of this aftermath, some of the reaction from this fight. Now, your main man, Terence Crawford, my main man, Terence Crawford, one of the best fighters out there. Some would say the best fighter out there, Terence Crawford. Obviously there's been in the past run-ins and arguments with him and Jermell Charlo on Twitter. Me and my dad did that video last year where my dad went off on Jermell Charlo because he don't think Jermell Charlo could beat Terence Crawford, even though we like Jermell Charlo. He doesn't think that. Anyway, Terence Crawford chimed in on Jermell Charlo's performance, or in his opinion, lack thereof of a performance, and he said the following, and I quote, "I've been gone for a minute, but Jermell Charlo last night is the reason you are not on the pound-for-pound list, sir. You got to do better." My man Terence Crawford coming with that glizzy, coming with that 45 off his hip, that glizzy, letting you guys know the truth. Because look, I was rooting for Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo has won me over and become one of my favorite fighters in boxing. But Jermell Charlo, even though he almost got the stoppage in the latter stage of that fight, he still left a lot to be desired. He got up to a slow start. He allowed Castano to control the center of the ring for the majority of the fight. And, say what you want about Crawford. Hold on a second. Here we go. Say what you want about Terence Crawford, but and the opposition or lack thereof opposition. But when Terence Crawford fights people, it don't matter if it's an elite fighter or a fighter that's a supposed bum or a mandatory or candidate fighter opposition or a contender. Whoever Terence Crawford has fought in the professional ranks, and I think he's probably the only fighter in boxing right now that you could say with 30 fights or more that hasn't had a controversial fight. With every great fighter in boxing right now, we can point to an instance in their career where the fight was close and it was controversial. Tyson Fury had the close fight with John McDermott where people thought he lost. Some people thought Charlo Tito lost to Estrada in the first fight. Some people thought you could use the example of a lot of fighters. I'm going to use those two because those are two of the better fighters in boxing. But most fighters in boxing with 30 fights or more, they have controversial wins on the resume. They have blemishes. Terence Crawford does not have that. He's either stopping people or he's putting on boxing masterclasses, boxing exhibitions, boxing clinics. So Terence Crawford's performance, his level of consistency, that has to be applauded. That has to be respected. And Jermell Charlo last night, he was the favorite. A lot of people were underrating Castano. A lot of people weren't giving Castano a fair shake, his just due. Now those same people that were saying that Castano is gonna get knocked out and Jermell Charlo is gonna be the undisputed champion and he has no chance. Now those same people are claiming that Brian Castano is the best in the division, but then they're not keeping that same energy. You know what I'm saying? So I like the energy Terence Crawford is bringing because Jermell Charlo ran his mouth a lot on Twitter last year. And a lot of people want Terence now because of what he said to move up to 154. And who knows, maybe he will. Maybe Terence Crawford could use his status as WBO welterweight champion, go up to 54, and get a shot at Castano and dismantle Castano. Because I think it'd be a good fight. I think it'd be a tough fight for Terence. But I think Terence would beat Castano and beat him convincingly. Terence Crawford is a different breed. Jermell Charlo, fantastic fighter, but there's levels to boxing. Terence Crawford's creme de la creme, top of the top. Errol Spence, fantastic fighter, but Terence Crawford is creme de la creme, top of the top. Look, unless you're from Scotland like Josh Taylor or the Philippines like Manny Pacquiao, you ain't beating Terence Crawford. Ain't nobody from 147 to 154 from the state of Texas beating Terence Crawford. Virgil Ortiz ain't beating Terence Crawford. Freaking Errol Spence damn sure ain't beating Terence Crawford. And Jermell Charlo ain't beating Terence Crawford. And Terence Crawford just letting you guys know. You guys want to slag him off. You guys want to talk trash about his resume. You want to say he's not pound for pound. But his performances stay right up here. His performances never drop. You never see Terence Crawford's performances drop. His performances are always A+. His performances are always creme de la creme. His performances are always top shelf, where mama keeps the peanut butter. Terence Crawford's the truth and nothing but the truth. But hey, look, right now we're going on. It's July. In November, it'll be damn near a year since Terence Crawford fought. So we need Terence Crawford to get in that boxing ring and get active and remind the world and show the world his greatness and why he's still one of the best fighters, if not the best fighter out there. Because while he's been, on the shelf not getting fights, everybody else has been fighting. The Monster Inoue been fighting. Josh Taylor been fighting. Canelo Alvarez been fighting. So, he's right. Terence Crawford is right. You're not on the pound for pound list, Jermell, and I was just about to put him on there. I was just about to put Jermell on there if he would have won last night, and you can make the argument that he was 10. You can make that argument that he was 10. He had a great argument for being number 10. But you gotta do better. You gotta do better, and Castaño really exposed the flaws of Jermell. Jermell made the adjustment, but it was a bit too late, and he let the fight way too close, and then luckily he got a draw, but we all know he lost that fight. Terence Crawford, though, I like to see him go to 54 at some point. If not, because he's not getting no 40. He's not getting no big fights at 47. Pacquiao is fighting Spence. Spence doesn't want no smoke with Crawford. Spence has gone to witness protection. PBC in general has gone to witness protection. The only fight I could see Bigfoot going for Terence Crawford in the near future is Josh Taylor, which I think would be a great fight, and a fight that he could potentially lose because Josh Taylor's a damn good fighter himself. But yeah, man, I'm gonna leave it at that. Terence Crawford calling out Jermell Charlo, putting him on game. He said last night is the reason that you're not on the pound for pound list, sir. You got to do better, and he's right. Jermell, we love you, but you got to do better. Last night you left a lot to be desired. Much like the first Tony Harrison fight, you left a lot to be desired in that fight. You got the rematch, you came back, you won, you did better, But that was more, even that fight with Harrison, that was more disputed than this fight. The consensus from most people, from the lion's share of boxing fans, is that you lost to Castaño. It's not like the Harrison fight. A lot more people thought you won the Harrison fight, the first Harrison fight, than you did with this Castaño fight. So, it is what it is, Terence Crawford. Just letting you guys know that, it takes a lot to be a pound-for-pound fighter. No matter who you fight. Your performances got to stay here, and his performances have stayed there. So I'm going to leave it at that. You guys leave your comments down below. Make sure you take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.